They should know the truth about this man. He is an illegal alien, a foreign terrorist, and a criminal MS-13 gang member who violated our country's laws by coming here in the first place. And shame on Senator Chris Van Hollen and the entire Democrat Party, who wasted Easter Sunday going on every television show in the country to advocate for the return of an illegal criminal gang member.
Your thoughts that might have been relayed to you, do you have any chance to talk to the vice president about his last meeting with the Pope?
I spoke to the vice president's team this morning, and they expressed how excited and grateful they were for the opportunity to have met with the Pope just yesterday. And of course, we know the Pope has gone to be with the Lord this morning, and I spoke to the president about that as well, and he has put out a statement to say God bless the Pope and all those who loved him. He touched millions of lives throughout his tenure as the head of the Catholic Church, and so it's a solemn day for Catholics around the world, and we are praying for all those who loved the Pope and believed in him.
I mean, I hear they're doing that whole thing again. Here we go again. Just a waste of time. He is doing a great job.
Why do you still have confidence?
Because he's doing a great job. Ask the Houthis how he's doing. Ask the Houthis how much dysfunction there's none. Pete's doing a great job. Everybody's happy with him. We have the highest recruitment numbers I think they've had in 28 years. No, he's doing a great job. It's just fake news. They just bring up stories. I guess it sounds like disgruntled employees. You know, he was put there to get rid of a lot of bad people, and that's what he's doing. So you don't always have friends when you do that.
Things could not be going much worse for Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, or really this entire administration. It's so bad, in fact, that we quite literally saw Carolyn Leavitt trying to run away from accountability this morning when she was confronted by the press for not only Pete Hegseth news scandal, but the NPR report that the White House is looking into a new Secretary of Defense. And if you thought that was bad for Pete Hegseth, the White House, in an insane post, actually reshared this leaked story. It is so bad for the folks in the Trump administration that, like I said, Carolyn Leavitt is running away. We are going to get into Carolyn Leavitt, that reshared post, all of the chaos happening right now. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, it goes a long way. And it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we can unpack all of this chaos, and there is so much, we have to start with the context, which is the insane statement that Carolyn Leavitt made in defense of Feed Heath this morning on the Fox propaganda outlet.
Front page of the New York Times, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth back in the news about staffers had to be dismissed and a second signal chat that took place. Where's the president stand on this?
The president stands strongly behind Secretary Hegseth, who is doing a phenomenal job leading the Pentagon. And this is what happens when the entire Pentagon is working against you and working against the monumental change that you are trying to implement. Secretary Hegseth was nominated for this position because he is standing up for the war fighter, the men and women in uniform who are putting their lives on the line to protect our country and our homeland. And unfortunately, there have been people at that building who don't like the change the secretary is trying to bring, so they are leaking and they are lying to the mainstream media. We've seen this game played before. The secretary is doing a tremendous job, and the president stands strongly behind him.
This is classic MAGA cope. Carolyn Leavitt and the Fox propagandists are trying to blame people who are leaking about the dysfunction of the Pentagon, not the person who is causing the dysfunction of the Pentagon. I think it is great that the people who resigned or were fired without cause are letting us all know how terrible of a job that Pete Hegseth is doing. We deserve to know. And it's funny because Donald Trump and Carolyn Leavitt want to say that these people are somehow unloyal or that they're woke or whatever. But in their resignations and in these statements, they've made it clear they're leaving and they're leaking. because Pete Hegseth is embarrassing the administration. They're actually loyalists to Trump, which is why it's so funny that Trump had this to say about Pete Hegseth.
President Trump, do you remain confident in Hegseth? Do you remain confident in Pete Hegseth?
Oh, no.
President Trump, I'm sorry.
Why do you even ask a question like that? We have recruitment that's at an all-time high, the spirit in the armed forces. And great confidence.
President Trump, you're sure?
Why would you be considering firing him? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because your own White House is openly talking about it, and we saw that in not just the NPR article we're about to check out, but how the White House accidentally shared it and Leavitt's crazy response to that. So, let's get into this article, and then we'll see the mess that has been today for Carolyn Leavitt. Exclusive. The White House is looking to replace Pete Hegseth as defense secretary. The White House has begun the process of looking for a new leader at the Pentagon to replace Pete Hegseth. According to a U.S. official who is not authorized to speak publicly, this comes as Hegseth is again mired in controversy over sharing military operations details in a group chat. The defense secretary is under fire after revelations that he shared classified information in a group chat with his wife, brother, and lawyer. According to the official, the source said Hegseth used the Signal messaging app on his personal smartphone, detailing minute-by-minute classified information about airstrikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. It happened at the same time in March that Hegseth shared similar details with top White House officials in a different Signal chat that accidentally included a journalist. That leak hours before airstrikes hit could have endangered U.S. pilots if the information about the timing of the airstrikes was intercepted by U.S. adversaries. Already, the Houthis have twice shot down American Predator drones. 3 other Pentagon advisors were escorted out of the Pentagon and accused of leaking information to the press. The trio then point out a joint statement on X, calling their dismissal unconscionable and saying they have not even been told what they are accused of leaking. All 3 of us served our country honorably in uniform. For 2 of us, this included deployments to the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. And based on our collective service, we understand the importance of information security and worked every day to protect it. So, as you can imagine, this devastating report for Pete Hegseth caused quite the stir. And so, Carolyn Leavitt immediately responded. But what was so bad about it is so did the White House, and they had to delete it. And I want to take a look at both of those posts. Carolyn Leavitt responded to the story writing, "This NPR story is totally fake based on one anonymous source who clearly has no idea what they are talking about. As the president said this morning, he stands strongly behind SEC. But Rapid Response 47, the official White House account, retweeted the report that the White House is looking to replace Hegseth. So the White House's official Twitter account shared the story that they're denying about looking for a new Secretary of Defense. It is a complete mess over there, and that is why Carolyn Leavitt certainly did not want to spend any time with the press when she was being confronted over Pete Hegseth."
Learned of the passing of Pope Francis, his reaction, and does he plan to travel for any of the services honoring his life?
No travel plans at this time. Doesn't mean it's not happening. I just don't have anything to share. But the president, of course, is aware of the passing of the Pope and did put out a statement this morning. We're praying for the millions of Christians around the world who love the Pope and admire him this morning.
Did the president have any conversation?
Has the president read that story or been briefed on the New York Times story? And combining kind of that and all the leadership changes depending on over the last week, does the president still have confidence in Secretary Hegseth?
The president absolutely has confidence in Secretary Hegseth. I spoke to him about it this morning, and he stands strongly behind him.
So, as you can see, Carolyn Leavitt took 2 questions from the hand-picked reporters that are likely MAGA loyalists. First asking if Donald Trump was traveling today. Like, that's the big headline story. And then asking if Donald Trump still backs Pete Hegseth too, which is just, An easy lob up for Carolyn Leavitt to say, of course, Mr. President is supporting Pete Hegseth, who's just doing a swell job, and then she dashes away before anyone can ask any real questions. But we need answers right now. And if you want to help boost this video and you enjoy, you can hit that subscribe button, you can leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments or just say, hi, thank you for your support. And until next time, I'll see you soon.